Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. So on today's video, what we're doing, hey, so hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. So on today's video, what I'm going to be taking you through is this mannequin to one of the highly requested haircuts of the minute. I just used Google Bard, which is their version of ChatGPT. Reason I like the Google version is it's bang up to date, on the minute, on the money right now. So I just Googled what is the most requested haircut right now, and it's the textured bob. And the textured bob I did a couple of videos ago, so I think I'm going to go back to that actually and change some of the SEO in it to bring it bang up to date with what people are searching now. But the second one was a long bob, a lob, and then a shaggy bob. So I'm going to do this as a long bob. I'm going to show you how to do that, how to cut it, and then I'm going to do it as a shag bob, but lob. Shag lob. So that's what we'll do. So yeah, we're going to get into the section pattern. Again, you know me, I'm not one for creating thousands of sectioning patterns all the way through here. To create a lob haircut, a beautiful lob haircut, long bob, doesn't require a lot of sectioning, but it takes a lot of precision when cutting and styling to make it look very, very beautiful. So let's get into the section pattern. Right. Right, so section pattern that we're going to be doing on this mannequin here is, again, front to back, two parts of the haircut where we want to be concentrating on the back and the front separately, combining them both to create the haircut. So again, high point in the head takes us to there, and then around about there. And then we're going to section through the back. We're going to work from middle of the ear, occipital bone, middle of the ear, and then the sections are just going to come down like that, and then we're going to be cutting along there. Another section in probably about 2 inches, drop that down, cut there, another one, drop that down, drop those down, and then we're going to cut to there. So they're all going to be coming down, I think a lob, sort of like collarbone, something like that. So yeah, we're going to get rid of all this sort of like wispy ends and just refresh this mannequin so it's a really nice blunt haircut to then put in the shag bob that we're going to do on this next. So when it comes to the front, what we really want to do with the shag bob, what we really want to do with the bob, the long bob, is we want to be over directing the front back on the shoulders. Reason for it will create an A-line shape, and it just sort of like melts over the shoulder. I just think it sits so much better than if you've got hair which is sort of like touching shoulders one length, because as soon as you get one length and it's long below the shoulders here, sits on the shoulders, it starts to kick out. So what I mean by that, this hair will all travel back to here and be cut. Yeah, don't need to do anything off that. There you go, just sectioning again. Again, section down that middle there. That hair is just going to be coming back, back, back. This hair is going to be coming straight down like so, and then that gives us a really nice, if the client wears their hair all back, it looks beautifully blunt, and when they wear it forward, it melts over the shoulder. So let's get into the haircut. So here's our mannequin, nicely wet down, shampooed, conditioned, treated if we need to. And now all we're going to do is make sure your mannequin and your client have their head straight. We just want to put a central part in the hair. This is what's going to give us the balance. Then coming from that high point, putting our comb there, finding that, and we're just going to separate front to back. And then again on this side, high point, mirroring the other side, and then just separating front to back. So now I've got our mannequin separated front to back. We want to be drawing down middle back, finding that occipital bone, and then coming straight across through there. Occipital bone, yep. And then again, middle of the ear, put my finger on the occipital bone so I've got somewhere to aim towards, a little bit higher. There we go. And again, just sectioning out the way. So grabbing our scissors, I just want to take this front piece, which is the shortest, and then pull back to where the guide is going to be. So I'm going to use that as my guide and then just pulling through there. I'm just going to do a rough cut. Let me just get that situator. So that's how I'm doing it. I'll do it this side so you can see actually. Oh no, I told me to hold it. Basically, I'm grabbing that, pulling it back to here so I can put a guide in. So here is that side. I'm pulling it back. I'm getting that length in, and I'm just going to put a rough guide in like that. So you can see I've just cut a little piece there. So now what I'm going to do, scissors behind all of that hair. I'm using the fine teeth of my comb to keep it all together, and then just cutting a simple blunt line. He says simple, but they're not simple. There we go. Now we want to be coming this way. So I'm going to, again, comb behind the hair just so we can pick it all up, bring it down to meet that guide, and then I'm just going to come through like this, using my comb as a ruler to make sure that we mimic that line there. And there's our guide. Just going to drop, how many sections did we say? 1, 2, 3 sections, 4 sections maybe. So through there, and because this hair it tapers off, basically I know that if I take that 2-inch section there on a mannequin, the density of the hair, I'm still going to be able to see my guide through it. If a client had an abundance of hair and you were thinking, oh my God, I'm taking this basically, Paul said to take this section in 2 inches. Can't even see my guide. What are you going to do? Just go into an inch section. If there's so much hair, and if the hair was dark on a dark gown, it would be even harder to see. So you would just go an inch. It is all relative to the head in front of you. So there, working through to my guide, and again, scissors behind, and you can see I'm not rounding off the shape. I'm bringing it back, and I'm just following that guide. And again, scissors behind, comb square, putting in that shape. So if you want to check it, use your fingers to check, just in case you need to take any dust off, tiny little pieces. You don't want to be dropping, you don't want to be pulling down and there's like big long pieces of hair. If you do, just go back through your sections and redo. But the reason I do this way is because the tension on your comb is much less than tension on your fingers. You could be pulling that right down to try and make sure you've got that guide, whereas this we're just pulling down and then it gives us a nice guide to work with. So look at the density here. If they had really thick hair, I would go again. The mannequin, barely any hair reaching. There we go, a little bit. So just going to work that through there like so, and then we're going to comb in and pull back so it's square, so the line is exactly the same as we've been cutting all along. Because if we were to cut like that now, we'd end up with shorter pieces on the edge. So we're going to go in, come back, and then going to cut from inside out. Reason inside out, I can see my guide where I'm cutting from. Now all we're going to do, because we matched up that length at the front to the shortest piece of the client's hair, there's going to be barely any hair to cut. Reason we did that, we want to maintain that length at the front. We don't want to cut any of it. The client wants to maintain all of that, but she was happy to freshen up her hairstyle. So we're going to pull all of this back here, and that's in one section. Reason for, again, there's not a lot of hair. Again, if we had an abundance of hair, loads and loads of hair, you would drop down in section by section. But this, on a mannequin hair or a client's hair with this density, we're able to do it this way, really quick as well. I mean, and I wouldn't say like doing like 6 sections, 2 or 3 on that front, because we've already lost a lot of hair because of this hair is all thick down here. We've lost half of that because the hair starts up here. And there we go. That is a long bob. So if we just spin around, what we just want to do just to make sure is pull like that. You can see we've got that from short to long, and all I'm doing is just taking off dust if there's little pieces, which there wasn't, but it's better to just double check. But there we go. And then when I was talking about earlier, when the hair flicks out, so that length here, if we'd have cut the front to the back, we'd have been taking that off. So where that would have been sitting, it'd have been sitting right on that shoulder, encouraging it to flick out. And to me, that sort of dates a haircut when it sort of flicks out. Unless the client wants it, that Anthea Turner sort of look. I'll pop a picture in so you know who she is. But I think this, it just keeps the style that little bit fresher and easier to manage. And again, we'll just check this side, making sure there's nothing, to be honest. I think a lot of it is just hair, which is just coming out of the mannequin's head. But there we go. That has just freshened up that mannequin, just given a nice little, you still get a little bit like flick out, but if we wanted it to sit straighter, blow dry it, and because of the way it's cut, you would have those short pieces automatically stay at the back, and because these bits are a bit longer, they automatically sort of melt over the shoulder. And that's it. That is a long bob haircut. So there we go, guys. That is the finished result. That is it all nicely blow dried. Just basically smooth blow dry. A little bit of Joico hair shake in there to add a little bit of grip, just so we can get these ends turned under. You could turn them out if you want to, but I just think it's quite nice how they just sort of float like that over the shoulders. And then what we'll do is we'll spin her around so you can see that line there, how healthy that looks now compared to what it looked like at the beginning. Just a really nice bevel on that blow dry, just makes it look like it's shiny. Or it is shiny, but just enhances the shine, should I say. Yeah, there we go. So then we pulled that right back into there to keep that line nice and blunt. And then as we just pull that out slightly, you can see it just gets slightly longer. So when it goes over that shoulder, that's what I was on about, through there, see the shortness just stays there, doesn't flick out, just wants to live there. And then we just get that really nice melt around the shoulder. That's why I really like doing an A-line haircut when it's anything below shoulder, in the sense of not mega long, but where it's sort of sitting around about collarbone or anything just below that. If somebody wants it to wear it down a lot, front, back, whatever, I just think it's really nice because it just enhances that length that little bit more. So yeah, I hope that's helped with basically going from college, transitioning. This is what I'm trying to do with all these videos, the very sort of basics, but take it to the salon floor for you just to help, because maybe at college they wouldn't have A-line, you'd have had to have just done like a box sort of line, so it's like all the way around. But if this is new to you as well, let me know in the comments down below. I'd like to know if you've ever sort of really thought about why you do that. Why'd you take it all back? That's what I really like to explore when it's in hair. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, let me know. Check out this video next and tell me what you think about that. And until next time, I'll see you on the next video.